Alright guys, today I'm going to be doing something a little different here than my usual commentating of games. Today while I was clipping my toenails I realized that, I didn't have a car. And so I did a little searching on the internet, namely Craigslist. Not a sponsor, but I went on Craigslist today and checked out the nice used automobiles they have there. The first thing I'll say to that one is Craigslist. If you watch this video for some god awful reason, I'd love it if you just made two sections for cars. One for cars that work and one for cars that don't work. Because it seems like the section for cars that work just seems to be filled with cars that don't work. So, in my price range, which is, the typical $700 to $1,500, I live in Michigan, so you can pretty much get a decent car for that kind of money. Not a decent car, but definitely a lot better than no car. Typically, this is a car that you use in between cars. It's the kind of car that you don't really mind if you slam it into a tree or jump off a bridge with it and, sink yourself in the bottom of a lake because that's probably what I'll do with it. But anyway, I was going on there and the biggest thing I saw today was cars that people are advertising as working. And then you go into the details and it's something like, oh, car works but doesn't have an engine or tires or any of the innards. And I'm no mechanic, but I could probably tell you that it's not going to work if you buy one of them. Which is why I decided not to. I'm not a very rich person. I never have been. Probably never will be. I never will be. Let's just keep it at that. But I can tell you, I'll never be able to just go ahead and blow money on a car. This is something that's going to take a lot of research, and I realize it's not something that just happens overnight. But fair warning to any child out there, uh, ages 0 to 14, figure everything out right now. If you got cool parents that are going to support you in your life decisions, take full advantage of that. Don't don't secede from them. Just listen to them because most likely they'll help you out, and you're gonna need help because once you turn 18, it's gone. Well, for me anyway. Um, I've learned that getting a car after you turn 18 is very nearly impossible. And I'm supporting myself right now. I have a job and I pay rent. And in between paying rent, paying for my phone bill, paying for food, I'm left with about $0 every month to spend. So I can't even imagine what it's going to be like having a car payment if that such a thing is going to happen on top of insurance, which, I mean, come on, insurance companies. What do you think we're going to do with these cars when we wreck them? I mean, do you think I'm going to try to fix it? Come on, let's be real here. I'm going to throw it in the damn trash. Any trash can really that'll fit a car. I'll throw it right in there. You don't even have to know about it. I'll just throw it in the trash. But I digress. Having an insurance payment, having a car payment, rent, food, everything, it just starts to add up and it eats away at everything in your life. I've been fortunate enough to have pretty good health care that is provided, and that's just fantastic because I'll be darned if I broke my arm, I guess I'd be putting it in some sticks and mud because there's no way I'd be able to pay for it. Another thing, when you're 18, you can't get a credit card. I don't know if they told you that. They tell you the minimum age is 18, but that's a bold-faced lie. They don't want you to have any of their credit. And to build credit, you need credit, and they won't give you credit. So that's pretty cool little system they have worked out there. Um, but yeah, so back to the car. So I'm looking out the window and I see people driving by. They got the hunks. They got the hunks of junks, the Humpty Bumps, all that sort of jazz. And I just think, where do they get those? Where do they get those cars so cheap? Everybody's got one. I look at freshmen in high school and they've got cars. And I know their parents aren't paying for all 50 of their cousins to have a car. Someone's got to, these cars have got to be coming from somewhere. I'm not sure if they're hand downs or if they're just finding them at the free car dealership that I don't know about. But either way, I'd love to get in on that financial pie because as of right now, with the $500 a month I make, which is just outstanding, I can't do anything with my life, and I'm pretty much stuck in a small town with nowhere to go. The obvious answer to that is, hey Jack, why don't you just get a better job? Why don't you just go? Why don't you just go to another town? Well, to get to another town, what do you need? A car or someone to get you there? I have neither at this time. And once I'm there, what am I gonna do? Just walk around everywhere, walk to work? I don't know if I'll find a place to live in my price range, in my job price range, that I'll be able to just find a place to live and hope I'll be in walking distance of a place that gives me more than $2 an hour. I turned 18 at the start of the financial year at my work, so apparently that's just the biggest monkey wrench they've ever fucking heard of. And they just are like, well, minimum wage went up, but not for you. Sucks for you, bro. And so now I'm just kind of waiting for them to figure it out over there, which they're not very quick about, I found out. They're really only quick about sending you your any deductions. And boy, oh boy, do they send you deductions. Oh my goodness. The stuff I put up with, and I'm not even putting up with anything. I don't know how you real working Americans do it. Um, yeah, so I, I just want to know how it's done. And I don't really have good insight. Everybody in my family that's ever made it has just kind of gotten there through dumb luck when they were kids. You know, they got kind of everything was just kind of handed to them, and when they worked, it was like it was just because they could. And you know, like most people, my dad just kind of went off the radar, and my mom, worked her way through nursing school, so she figured it out on her own. But I know there's somewhere, somehow, that people are supposed to be able to figure this stuff out. And I mean, it's got to be more than just saying, "Oh, you got to get a better job," because that is not the answer. That is a very broad answer to a very specific question. And yeah, I'm tired of hearing it. Another thing is, if you do get lucky enough to manage getting a car for under $2,000, which it turns out is a lot of money when you don't have any money. And money is a lot of money, but once you do get one of those beater with a heater, as they call them, then you gotta insure that SOB. Then you gotta get a title for it, and it's almost like they don't want you to have a car, even though they designed America to be used like with cars. I can't just walk to the nearest town. I gotta take a car. Not practically. I mean, I could get a horse, but then I gotta feed it, and I don't like horses, so that's not really an option. But yeah, I mean, if you were ever 18 once, which I'm sure most people that are alive and were 18 were 18, maybe give some kids in your life some advice. And I'm not talking about the stupid grandparent advice. It's just like, whoa, you get a penny a day, blah blah blah. That doesn't help. That's not. It's just funny to you, but all jokes aside, we actually need your help because, I mean, How are we supposed to just figure it out? There's no answers, and it's just god awful.